Good morning.
Good morning, Julie.
Good morning,
We're,
Tammy.
we're both at the beach today.
Oh, that's right. We are both at the beach. It's great.
I know.
Considering I think it's going to rain any minute here. All right.
So the beach is looking good. Oh my gosh.
And your necklace looks very plumeria-ish, and so it's very Hawaii.
Yeah, yeah. Then you can put that together, right?
I
Your
mean,
your necklace is beautiful too. I can't see it all the way. What is it? Is it a
it's
crystal?
it's a labradorite.
Oh, beautiful. Very pretty. Love
Thank you.
your color too.
So I'm Julie Hawkins, the Biz Psychic, and this is Tammy Langowski of Tammy's Intuitive Services.
Yep.
And Tammy's going to start us off.
Okay. So yeah. I'll just put that out there again. Tammy Langowski, tammy'sintuitive.com is my website. And I offer intuitive readings, working with clairvoyance. Clairaudience is my primary ability, the clairaudience channeling information in. And you can find some of my messages, channel messages on my social media, Facebook, Instagram, and that would be under Tammy's Intuitive Services. I'd love you to follow. I'm always, I never know what's going to come up for my channel messages. So for me, it's even fun reading them back after I get them. So hopefully you will enjoy them and find some inspiration in those. Julie and I both are open for private sessions, and you can certainly go through my website, tammy'sintuitive.com, to the contact page if you'd like to do it that way. psychicmom@sbcglobal.net is my email. You're welcome to contact me that way as well. So do you want to give a little bit more about you Julie?
Yeah, ditto Tammy, except, of course, obviously, I'm juliehawkins.com, the Biz Psychic, actually, it's just bizpsychic.com, and you can follow me through those places and on YouTube and Facebook and et cetera, et cetera. I'm just going to start off by saying that I don't want to get too involved in this, but we'll just leave it that I had a reaction to the vaccine, but it wasn't your typical reaction. It triggered another viral episode for me, and so I'm kind of been down for the count for the last couple of weeks, and feeling much better, but my throat hurts a lot. It's like having mono. So I'm going to do probably less talking and let Tammy do more more talking today, because that's where I'm at.
Yeah, we want you to rest. And we know what that's like, for us intuitive, certainly that give readings, or anybody, any of you that have a job where you have to speak. That can be a little, tricky when you're going through those kinds of things. So wishing you well, Julie. And we've been sending you, some good healing, and our higher healing group has been sending Julie healing and working on that. So so we hope for a speedy recovery for you.
Thank you. I'm on my way. I mean, I think the worst is past, so.
That's great. It's only better from here. I'm going to be working on your throat chakra a little bit later if you're open for that, and just kind of, sending you some of that love and divine light.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I do.
Absolutely. I'm going to start a little bit, because this is a bit like part of the channel piece of it, because we do like to start out kind of giving you a channeled message and all. But my guides were touching on just the fact that, like Julie going through something physical right now. And of course, we've all had physical ailments. And I want to kind of give a little bit too about sometimes when we just don't understand. Now, I'm not saying this pertains to you necessarily, Julie, maybe it has at some point, but all of us maybe, or some people are always like, why am I dealing with these things? Why am I always getting sick? Let's say, right? Those kinds of things. Well, there's a lot of different reasons they're telling me, obviously, right? There can be a lot of different reasons. There certainly can be the where you are in your mindset kind of idea, right? So if you're overly stressed or any of those things, and we know they can manifest into physical ailments as well. There's also the portion of past life stuff, I was going to say, where maybe there's been chronic conditions before that are kind of, brought on over to this lifetime to continue through the healing process of it, or the lessons it might provide. And then our guides say, and then there's just simply that sometimes you choose a lifetime to go through ailments or a certain ailment to have just the experience of that. Because again, we have to remember all of these experiences bring us to a higher level of compassion and empathy for ourselves, but mainly for others, really, I feel, so that we can truly walk in everybody's shoes. So we will have lifetimes of different kinds of things that go on, as well as the really opposite of those, right? You know, the life that just sails through easy peasy, healthy, and all of that good stuff. So we have to just be patient with ourselves, and the times that we're ever feeling, and again, I'm not saying this is your situation necessarily, Julie, just kind of, you know, going on all of that, right, of the idea of health and things that we go through, that if any of us are really questioning, why me, why am I going through this, yeah, I think first check in, they're saying, is on self, right? What's going on within you? If there is a lot of turbulence, if there's a lot of, again, I'm going to say stress, if you're not, uh, what's the word we're looking for, guide to trying to give it to me, it's very simple, but appropriately for now, I'll say that, you know, getting rid of it and placing it where it needs to be, then it will accumulate in certain areas of the body. Uh, you know, typical ones are the gut, you know, when we're upset and stressed. And I find the chest as well in a very different ways there in the chest. I mean, to rather simple things and not so simple things. And then it will go over. You know, so I know for me, like one time, as far as where it goes in the body, I think I was doing an event or something somewhere, and there was a person there that did like the, you know, maybe like the chair massage kind of thing or something. So I went over, we were doing like a trade, you know, and went over there. And I really realized for the first time how much I bunch up in my left shoulder, oddly. And all I ever have to do is check in. And then sure enough, if I just relax, that's where I'm relaxing the most. So I'm holding things sometimes. I used to hold things. Let's make it in the past, you know, in that area. And so really, I mean, it was not, he could feel the knots and everything. And I'm like, wow. I mean, I kind of knew that was there, but not to the degree that, you know, it was. So even that exchange between myself and that person was not coincidental, you know, because it gave me a little bit more information of just being aware of that. So sure enough, if I'm feeling a little, oh, you know, I'll just make sure to really relax my shoulders. So that's just an example of where it can be, but certainly can be in all different areas of the body. Right now, for me, I've been dealing still with a little bit of the, I guess it's the plantar fasciitis sort of thing, and it can take a very long time. Yeah. Would you say, Julie?
I said it's so painful and it
It
can
is.
take months.
Exactly. I mean, the last time I had it, I honestly think it took about a year, almost a year for it to completely heal. My husband was like 6 to 9 months when he had it.
It's a
And it can be flared up again after that. So right now, yeah, I think it was repetition for me of doing some exercises right when the shelter in place came in and all that stuff. And I'm pretty sure I you know, used it in one kind of rhythmic, is that the way to say it? Exercise. Anyway, so, you know, but I've been giving it lots of love, being patient with it. It's hard sometimes, right? Whenever we have anything, because we just want to move on. Literally, I want to move on, and I can't do the exercises like I normally do and stuff. So I'll get there. I've gone through it before. I know I will get there. So please, you know, I would say when you're having some of these aches and pains and things that go on, love yourself, obviously, right? This is a time to pamper yourself, give yourself healing, patience, all that kind of stuff, because really it's no coincidence when sometimes we're like thrown down on the couch and forced to kind of be there, you know?
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. So for the healing of the body itself, but also for taking check, because it's great to be able to, not great, but you know what I mean? You're laying there in a situation where, okay, all I can do is really kind of think about things. Well, there you go.
W- we want to add a little bit to that. We 100% agree with everything that you've said. And do you know, there are just times that you're meant to just be down for the count and rest. And sometimes the only way to do that and to get your attention and to really do that is to make you do that, by giving you plantar fasciitis, or what I have is a cat tail. Is I have Epstein-Barr virus, and I get a flare up of that, which is like having mono. So, and that usually lasts for several weeks. And in any event, it is something that can force you sometimes to really just pay attention to your body and to your life and to what you're doing. And we don't always have to be doing all the time. Sometimes just being quiet, often just being quiet, is what is really helpful. So, um,
Yeah, Julie, if you don't mind me saying, for you, it's interesting because I agree. Absolutely. And you're right. I mean, that gives us an opportunity, is yet another way for the universe to kind of get us to chill a little bit, to listen. Because, frankly, I think this way, there is always something to do.
always,
And that's annoying, isn't it?
it is.
And yes, we're in control of that. We are, to some degree. I mean, some may say, "Well, not really. I got to get this, and this done." And we have to even remember, yes, but you kind of created that world. You kind of created that life where, you know, because they're right. There are the other people out there that are just, maybe the nomads or the whoever it might be, that are choosing different kind of take on that a little bit, not, really opening up the freedom. So, but I was getting for you, Julie. I love the cattail. Oh, so healing. Look at that. You just have to feel that a minute. um, what I get a lot for you is, yeah, because I see this, like this condition, we'll call it, right, that sometimes might rear its ugly head for you, right? And then you're kind of you're almost forced to go along with the flow of it. So what they kept giving me is the word surrender.
Yeah.
So really, it's learning about surrender,
Mhm.
and that, okay. And I get again is kind of what they were talking about at the beginning about, sometimes we just sign up for experiences, on some level. Okay, we're not going to consciously, say, yeah, I want that.
Exactly.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. So they were giving me that a little bit, that for you it's to kind of surrender to what's happening, because the more, and I know this, and nothing you probably don't know, but the more you fight it, in a sense, right, the more difficult it becomes, or it seems to be more difficult, kind of thing.
Indeed.
So yeah, but we know it's not easy when we're not in good health, and I have some clients who are really struggling with some health issues, and I feel for them. It's a real. But I also know there's rhyme and reason to it and meaning, and we have to hold on to that. That's where faith kind of comes in, right? And what can we learn from it? What can we do better? What can we know that we can do, maybe possibly, to change something? Maybe
Well,
clear it, take some time.
and to reiterate, we signed up for this lifetime.
Yep.
We signed up for all its joys and sorrows and challenges and smooth sailing, and we signed up for it. And so, there's sit back and enjoy the ride, because you're on it regardless.
Yeah. Isn't that the truth?
So,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
it's part of just being on the human, on the planet, and in a body where
Which
there's,
gets back to surrender,
yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly. We have lots of opportunity to learn here, and we're going to learn some things, a lot of things, through the physical body, of being in physical presence. But again, we knew that there was, and please hold on to that. Remember, before you came into this lifetime, you understood what could be. You went away there for a second. I just thought
No.
that was great. Um, and I just found that funny. So sorry, now I lost my train of thought. That you find that that there's going to be some things that are going to be very challenging, and yet that there is going to be some benefit and reward for that, and that's really what we need to hold on to, even during the really difficult times.
Absolutely.
It's
And
a tall order. We can do it.
so on a somewhat related yet a little bit separate note, um, so 2019, Wait, when did COVID hit us? 20, was
So it
it
was, or 20, well,
a year ago? So
yeah.
2020, right?
I know I
So
was confused with the 19 part of it and then the
I
actually,
know, me too.
the awareness came in 2020. Yeah.
So I was relaxing yesterday, resting, and I was watching a program, and they had an economist on who said, if we keep doing what we're doing right now, by 2022, we should be in pretty good shape. And I thought, so 2020, no, it was 2019 because that's why it's called COVID-19.
Well, right. And then awareness kind of came in the beginning of 2020,
Of
really.
2020. So anyway, what I recognized was when I started doing channeling last year, they told me way at the very beginning of this whole thing, back in, I think, well, when I started channeling in May about this, that it was going to be 3 years from the beginning of this whole thing to where we get back to where we're like really normal again and prospering again. And I heard prospering, I had one of those drop-in nuggets, about a month ago of prosperity is ahead. And so yesterday I was watching this guy and he said, yes, we will probably be by 2022 in a really good place. And I thought, whoa, they told me 3 years, right? From the start to the sort of the end of this, and that's where we would be. And sure enough, that's what it's going to be. And I was just like, you guys are kind of amazing.
Yeah.
you
No,
know, because
awesome.
I'm just the answering service,
Yeah.
not the message taker. So I kind of just wanted to, and I wanted to check in a little bit with that about where COVID is, because I think if you're like me, we're all kind of excited about, okay, everybody's getting vaccinated who wants to be vaccinated. And it allows us to really start socializing again in a way that we haven't done for a year for most of us. And it doesn't mean we let up because there are variants.
Mhm.
But what they're giving me is that by and large, it feels like we have turned a corner, and that even though we will see like mini um mini rises of incidents of the variants, that generally speaking we'll be able to sort of ride those out and tamp those down and move forward. So we are going to experience that a few times in this coming year, but ultimately, by the time we are in the next year at this time, we will be probably about 80% of the way back. And so I just wanted to put that out there. Uh, when you don't feel well, you want good news anywhere you can get it. And I feel like that's really good news. And the better news for us, of course, here in California, or at least in the Bay Area, not that other parts of the country aren't doing it already. That's another whole conversation. Uh, is that we can, if you're vaccinated, they're like, yes, get together with other people who are vaccinated and enjoy dinners and social events and gatherings. And
Yeah. Yeah.
um, it just feels good to think about that. I'm like, I was telling my sister, we can go have lunch, let's get together and go have lunch now. Because
Yeah.
that feels normal.
Exactly. No, it's true. And for me, what I was getting a lot is this year would be about hope. This was really going to be a year about hope. And that's exactly, I agree. I mean, it's in, and they're telling me that what's great about hope is that when everybody is on the same bandwagon, right? Everybody's jumping on that bandwagon, hopefully everybody's hopeful, then it just creates more of that opportunity for hope, you know? So the more hopeful we can be, and yet respectful, they're saying, respectful of what is, right? And what has been.
Yeah.
Um, and like you said, I mean, there still has to be, we still have to be careful and things like that too. But but certainly we're allowed to have this hope, because as we remind ourselves that anything we place our thoughts on becomes bigger, right? And attracts more of that light vibration. So, do what you can, and do what is recommended, is what I'm hearing. And, but at the same time, place your bets on hope, is what they're saying, because yeah.
Yeah, finish. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, because I agree, it's gonna shift. I can open up a little bit more to that too. They're saying that, please understand, COVID will disappear. Probably not too much of a surprise, but it will. It will take time, but it will disappear. And then it's up to us to learn more about it. Now they've shown me, just like everybody, really researching it. Not that it hasn't been researched already, but I think it's true. We'll have more experience in it, right? So that makes sense, that there's going to be a lot more looking into this. Certainly what I keep getting, because I know somebody close to me who, is kind of in that long hauler category that you read about. And I think there's going to be obviously more testing on that and understanding of that. And sometimes the people who find themselves in that situation are, I always like to say, on some level, because how else are we going to say it? Because again, consciously don't pick to do these things necessarily, but yeah, that they're part of this understanding of what's going on right now for us, so that we can understand more about it, learn more about it, and get better at it. And so, hope for COVID free, COVID free, COVID free. That is what we'd like you to place your thoughts on. Free at the end of anything you don't want, super powerful.
Mhm.
If there's
So,
something.
well, what my guides were saying was that it's going to actually end up being sort of like the AIDS virus.
Mm.
So viruses will control it. It will largely disappear. Um, yeah, we just wanted to add that. Well,
Yeah, I love that. I love that, Julie, because I think that's real. That sounds right. It feels right when you said it. Even, I mean, just feel I could resonate with that too. That it would be very similar to that kind of. And
yeah,
hate to say it, but more to come. I mean, this is just part of being on the planet, and
exactly.
so many people. I mean, who knows how many years from now if there's something else. We're not trying to sound pessimistic or plant that in anybody's head, but the reality is there may be other things that come up. We're ever learning, ever evolving, as human beings on the planet. So it's not too surprising. But yeah.
And the sort of the other aspect of that was how um, again, I mean, you have to go back to my videos and look through them and see there are questions and answers about how long this was going to be around and how this virus was going to be. I do remember them telling me that this was going to be a very um, tenacious virus, and that it was going to, way before the mutations and the variants were talked about, that this was going to be it was going to be a very tenacious virus, and it was going to mutate because it wants to find a host and a way to survive. And so I don't my perspective from them is it's not that we're going to
I think you froze there, Julie.
excuse me.
I don't know if others can hear me still, but I will continue to talk. So she'll probably unfreeze here in a little bit. There she is. Good. Go ahead.
And I could hear you, so hopefully we were at least being heard.
Yeah.
So it's very much a tenacious virus. And again, watching an interview the other day where this doctor said, this is a mean, tenacious virus, and it is going to hang on and mutate like we haven't seen. So it's not over. Um, but what they're saying is, we like your hopeful message and we have turned a corner. And
Mhm.
so while we will experience the highs and lows and the roller coaster of this year, the worst of it is over. And thank goodness for that, because we've lost so many people to this.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
and just not just here. I mean, of course, worldwide, millions, right? Or it's got to be in the millions. I don't. Oh, got goosebumps. So anyway, we've turned a corner. We'll say that, and do as Tammy and her guides were saying, do the logical right things to do. Just because we've turned that corner doesn't mean you stop washing or wearing a face covering, or get the, oh my gosh, the controversy humans make about a face covering. Are you kidding us? It's like, get over
I,
yourself.
something very simple, and that yeah, I don't get it either.
Anyway,
Frankly, I don't
I
understand
can,
that. Something
I
I
can
like
feel
to
my,
do for like,
I can feel
go ahead.
myself winding down. So if you want to add any last things, I'm going to be
Yeah.
quiet if you add any last things, and then close for us.
Um, absolutely. So, Joe, no, just so that's something I do for visuals is whenever they show that, nasty looking little coronavirus on the news. And that used to bother me, like at the beginning, especially on the news and see the little, thing up close with the really virus, I guess, and what it is. I'd always just like blow it up, you know? Some may think that sounds really hostile. So, hey, you can like send love to it and see it crumble to dust. Boom, gone. But I would recommend that whenever it's being shown to you like that. I get why they do it, I guess, from their perspective, but I don't frankly like to see it. Or if anything, it just gives me opportunity to do something with that visually. So just a thought on that. And then for cats, I'm just going to say a little bit about something that came up more spiritually for cats, if that's okay. Julie, you okay with that? Doing that? Okay. I guess I'll just read my notes. So, no, it was just kind of sweet because you've all probably witnessed this in your family, or if there's a group of you, and that usually a family environment, because then you kind of know the cat knows the family dynamic. But we would often think it's really sweet when we're all sitting, if we're sitting in our living room, whatever, and our cats, we notice, and after we're all in discussion about something and we've all been talking, and our cats, we look over and they're just kind of sitting in the center of the room, enjoying it. And it's the sweetest thing when you really, when you take your focus off each other and you just notice. And I'll watch my cat, and he kind of, even does like the little bit of the, he's he's like mesmerized, and it's the sweetest thing. They just, they're loving it. And now, how I always put it is, oh, they love it when to be with family, to be in the room when we're all talking. And I kind of looked at it a little bit more yesterday, and it was really kind of neat. I mean, it's nothing too profound and surprising, but I liked kind of how they showed it to me. But they were telling me, so I kind of went into Jake, our cat Jake's space a little bit, and kind of read his energy and whatever my guides want to say about it. But they said when that's happening, and we're talking about a nice, comfortable conversation, obviously not like arguing or something, that would have a whole different vibration for the cats and animals in general. And they do get affected by that, just like children do in a home, right? When they say there's a lot of arguments like that. But they were showing me how he translates that in a sense. And maybe, I don't know if I could speak for all cats or just Jake, but they think of it as like they recognize the human connection that's going on right then. That's how it came to me. And I was like, ooh, this sounds kind of neat. And they recognize the human connection that is really important for us. And if it's in a well, a good conversation, like you said, a positive conversation, or just a neutral conversation, even, nothing negative, in other words, then it really makes them feel good. But what makes them feel the best is knowing how important it is for us, and how important it is to have that communication amongst humans, amongst for us, which then to me showed me and reminded me how much they are here to support us. Yes, they have their own evolution and their own, things they're learning, obviously, but a lot of it is to support us. And I guess I can't, that's the best I can put it into words for what I was getting, but I was feeling it as well. And it was so lovely. And it just went deeper to what I already kind of knew and was picking up, watching him watch us or be with us. But he was just basking in that thing that is so I can't put enough emphasis. So important for us to connectivity of human beings. So anyway, I just wanted to share that. It's different, but
No, and I love it. And what they said to me was it's a huge, very much a symbiotic relationship.
makes sense.
So,
That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. It'll be
well,
fun.
thank
But
you for that last
sure,
closing. I
my cattail.
love
So,
it. No, you know, anything cat, right?
yeah. But yes, we will wrap this up for Julie. She needs to get her rest, and will, I know, appreciate all of your divine light and healing that you might whoever's going to be viewing this to send to her. It's always greatly appreciated. So yeah, the throat chakra. I will be doing the same. So we appreciate you watching us, and as always, if you have any kind of questions that you would like to ask us that are general questions that we can kind of address, it can be about, you know, anything, what you think about how things work, or how does, you know, how does spirit communicate, or whatever it might be that you're just wondering, please put them in the comments. We'd be happy to channel on it for you. And so we appreciate you, again, you viewing us. Tammy Langowski, tammy'sintuitive.com, and Julie, I'm gonna let you say.
JulieHawkins.com, Julie Hawkins, the Biz Psychic. Either one of those will usually find me.
Yep, yep. And a reminder of our Higher Healing group and our events that we do, Higher Circuit through Higher Healing. I think sometimes it's best to grab those on Facebook, don't you think, Julie?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, that seems to be where we're kind of seeing the videos placed the easiest. So I think there is a Higher Healing YouTube and all that, but I'm not sure if it's up to date on the videos.
You know, I just wanted, what they said to me is, as we're closing, is we really love and appreciate you, our small and mighty supporters. So I just wanted to share that. We really do appreciate you. So.
Absolutely.
And share us, right? Share us if you get something out of it. Anything. Share it.
Absolutely.
All right.
Because we're really coming from a good place and doing this for you. And we hope that it is of benefit and value to you. So thank you. Thank you, Julie. All right. Well, thank you all. We are for now two psychic moms saying have a beautiful week, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye. That
was a terrible heart, but sending love.